Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 18th of October, 2016. In the Atlantic Basin, one area of interest here, Invest Area 99L. Energy is spread out over a large area. Does have a pretty good chance of becoming more organized and maybe enough so to be a tropical storm, or more likely a subtropical storm. And basically, it's sort of a technical definition in the structure of the system and how the winds are concentrated or not concentrated around the center, as it were. For a subtropical system, the winds are more spread out away from the center, and it looks more like a hybrid sort of comma shape than the usual round spiral of a tropical storm. Nevertheless, it won't matter too much because it shouldn't impact the United States directly. As it is now, bringing some showers and thunderstorms to portions of Puerto Rico and the Northeast Caribbean Sea, U.S. British Virgin Islands and vicinity. And overall, it looks like a drift to the east and then back to the northwest some, and then on out to sea like that is what will happen over the next few days. Looking at the upper level winds, pretty sharp trough overall over the system. So again, it's not really the same type of origin that we look for. For example, Matthew came from a impulse of energy all the way across from Africa and developed from that a true tropical seedling. This is a little bit different. Surface trough, low pressure area, troughing in the upper atmosphere. Not ideal conditions, but the upper level winds are expected to sort of change a little bit and allow this an opportunity to develop some. The vorticity signature, or the spin and energy in the atmosphere, kind of oblong shape, so that also tells us it is not in the best of condition for development. Nevertheless, the model's latching onto it to some extent. There's that bend back to the northwest with time overall, and then a track somewhere into the northwest Atlantic, maybe affecting the Canadian Maritimes. We'll have to wait and see. Still several days out. And if it does, it could bring some beneficial rain to portions of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. We'll have to just wait and see. The intensity guidance, I think you can ignore the blues and the reds here for the most part. I would say somewhere in the middle ground would be a reasonable expectation. Tropical storm force winds with this system, again, they're going to be spread out. Don't look for a system with an eye to develop or a concentrated area of banding showers and thunderstorms near a low pressure center. I think it's going to look much more like maybe like a nor'easter over warm water is a good way to think of it. And it might send some swells and choppy conditions back towards the U.S. East Coast, the Bahamas and the Greater Antilles on the north-facing beaches over the next few days. But beyond that, this iteration of 99L, remember, Hermine was also a 99L, if memory serves. That was painful too. Boy, remember, it took forever for it to develop. And they use these numbers over and over again each season as these areas. I mean, you see it right there. It's a low-level invest, or it's a low-pressure area. And it's AL99, the Atlantic. We just call it 99L for short. Anyway, let me get off that topic. And let's look at this, a very impressive but very dangerous super typhoon. They call them super typhoons, I guess, once they get above a certain threshold. We don't call them super hurricanes, though, in the Atlantic. We just have the Saffir-Simpson scale. Usually major hurricane and up, category 3, 4, and 5, are what we use to sort of signify that they really mean business. But that's usually from a wind perspective. We have a lot of rain with these systems, as we saw with Matthew, and that's a story for another day, how to deal with that better in terms of impacts down the road. The impacts for this, northern Luzon here in the Philippines, going to take a direct hit. It does look like from this system as it moves across over the next, or really less than a day. This is the screenshot from your Hurricane Pro. All right, remember, Hurricane Pro in HD tracks all the cyclones anywhere around the globe, not just Atlantic hurricane activity, and these are custom generated maps. You know, these are not regurgitated Joint Typhoon Warning Center or National Hurricane Center maps. These are, you can click and zoom and do all kinds of fancy things with these maps, just to remind you. And there it is, right across the northern tip of the Philippines there, the island of Luzon. A close-up shows that. There will be some wobbles across the track, as you can imagine. You know, they have the same kind of issues that we face here in the United States and elsewhere with hurricanes. Typhoons and hurricanes are the same thing. just called differently in the different basins of the world. And really in this area right in here is where I'm most concerned. That right front quadrant piling the wind and the water up there could be a big problem over the next few days. And that's basically this notch right here. You get that center passing in there, piling in those northeast winds, maybe 150, 160 miles per hour. The Philippine Sea just being blasted in there. That could be huge for storm surge and wave action. So we will certainly wish for the best for the folks in the Philippines. It was 3 years ago that Super Typhoon Haiyan, a very, very intense, one of the strongest cyclones ever observed on the earth in modern history, just 3 years ago. So that area of Philippine Sea, a very busy sort of typhoon highway. All right, well, that is it from me for today. I'll certainly be keeping an eye on what's happening with 99L and, of course, the typhoon. By the way, the name of that one approaching the Philippines is called Haima. I think that's how you pronounce it. Haima. It does show up on the, yeah, thought so. Haima, there it is. Or 25W, the 25th one of the season. Anyway, let me sign off. We'll be keeping an eye on all of it for you. Again, I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com and, of course, Hurricane Pro in HD. I'll be back tomorrow with another update on what's happening with all of these systems at that point in time.